Did you know that some common nighttime habits could be quietly increasing the risk of prostate issues, even prostate cancer? In older men, if you're in your 50s, 60s, or 70s and often find yourself waking up multiple times at night to urinate, feeling pressure in your lower abdomen, or just sensing that something doesn't feel quite right down there, you're not alone. As someone who has spent years listening to men speak privately about these concerns, I can tell you this. Prostate problems don't always begin with age. They often begin with everyday habits. In this video, we'll uncover 5 common mistakes older men make at night. Habits that might seem harmless, but are actually putting quiet stress on the prostate. These aren't just guesses or alarmist claims. They're backed by years of clinical experience and may explain why so many men continue to struggle with prostate enlargement, even when they believe they're doing all the right things. What's most frustrating? These habits often appear innocent. A late glass of water, a heavy dinner, ignoring that bedtime urge to urinate. But for your prostate, these seemingly small actions can build up over time. They stretch and irritate a gland that's already under pressure as you age. So stay with me until the end, because we won't just name these 5 prostate-damaging habits. We'll also share gentle, practical ways to undo their effects. You may find that better sleep, less pelvic pressure, and fewer nighttime trips to the bathroom begin with simply letting go of just one of these habits tonight. Let's start with mistake 1, drinking too much water before bed. One of the most common habits that silently strains the prostate is drinking too much water in the evening. It's understandable. After age 50, you're often told to stay hydrated for your kidneys, digestion, and overall health. But when most of your water intake happens late in the day, especially an hour or 2 before bedtime, it becomes a problem. Here's why. As men age, the prostate naturally enlarges. This narrows the urethra, slows urine flow, and makes it harder to fully empty the bladder. Now imagine pouring extra fluid into that already strained system just before bed. Instead of resting, your body has to wake up again and again to manage the overflow. The bladder fills, sends signals, and the prostate, already under stress, struggles to respond. You might think, this is just part of getting older, but in reality, excess nighttime fluids trigger a damaging cycle: more pressure, more inflammation, worsening symptoms. Over time, this leads to more urgency, more nighttime trips to the bathroom, and more discomfort. I once spoke with an 85-year-old man named Gerald, who was convinced that drinking 2 large glasses of water before bed was helping him flush out toxins overnight. But then he admitted something else. He hadn't slept through the night in over 10 years. After our conversation, Gerald decided to shift most of his water intake to earlier in the day, aiming to drink the bulk of it before 6 p.m., and only taking light sips after dinner. Within a week, something amazing happened. He went from waking up 4 or 5 times a night to just once. He laughed and said, "I thought I had a prostate problem. Turns out I had a timing problem." Now, let's be clear, you don't need to cut out water completely. Hydration is still essential, especially as you age. But retiming your water intake, getting most of it in during the morning and afternoon, can give your prostate a well-deserved rest at night, when your body is supposed to be healing and recovering. And if you do feel thirsty later in the evening, sip slowly. Take a small amount, not a full glass. Tune into your body and give your prostate the chance to relax. You might be surprised how this one small change can leave you feeling lighter, more rested, and clearer in the morning. Mistake 2, eating salty or processed foods at night. Many older adults tend to have their heaviest meal in the evening. A little comfort food, maybe a frozen dinner, some canned soup, or a few slices of deli meat, feels convenient and satisfying. But when it comes to your prostate, these salty, processed meals can quietly set you up for a long and restless night. The issue isn't just the salt. It's what salt does inside your body. High sodium meals cause you to retain fluids during the day, and your body naturally tries to release that fluid while you sleep. This increases nighttime urination, puts pressure on your bladder, and adds stress to your prostate, which is already working overtime if it's enlarged. And it's not only about how many times you wake up. It's also about how your body struggles to rest when it's supposed to be in recovery mode. A dinner heavy in sodium and processed ingredients forces your kidneys and circulatory system to stay active deep into the night, blocking you from entering the deep, healing sleep your body craves. For men with enlarged prostates, this means your pelvic region stays tense, swollen, and irritated through the night. The result? You wake up feeling heavy, tired, and inflamed, often worse than the day before. I remember another gentleman, Greg, 70 years old, who was frustrated about his constant nighttime urination. He kept saying, "I don't get it. I don't drink water late, and I always pee before bed." But when we dug into his evening routine, we found the culprit: his dinners. He was eating canned chili, microwave TV dinners, and salty snack mixes, things he thought were quick and easy. Once Greg switched to lighter, more balanced meals with fresh vegetables, lean proteins, and less sodium, he saw a change almost immediately. Within 3 nights, he told me, "I didn't realize how much tension was building up down there." Your prostate doesn't just respond to how much liquid you drink. It responds to your body's overall condition. And salty, processed foods can throw that balance off. These foods increase your blood pressure, reduce circulation, and interfere with your body's natural ability to drain fluids. The result? More pressure on your bladder, more irritation in your prostate, and more frequent bathroom trips, especially at night when you're trying to sleep. Instead of ending your day with a heavy, salty, preservative-filled meal, opt for something lighter and cleaner. Think simple: steamed vegetables, grilled chicken or fish, maybe a warm bowl of brown rice or oatmeal. Choose meals that satisfy you without overwhelming your system. If you're still watching and you found these tips helpful, go ahead and comment number 2 below so I know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I encourage you to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We're committed to bringing you content that helps you age healthier and smarter. Now, let's move on to the next important point: holding in urine at night. Many older men wake up in the middle of the night needing to urinate, but choose to stay in bed, either from tiredness or just not wanting to get up. What they may not realize is that holding in urine can slowly damage both the bladder and the prostate over time. When you ignore the urge to go, your bladder keeps filling and stretching. This may not seem like a big deal, but it actually weakens the bladder wall, making it less elastic and more prone to irritation. Meanwhile, pressure builds in the lower urinary tract, and that pressure pushes back on your prostate, especially if it's already enlarged. Over time, this can cause inflammation, make it harder to fully empty your bladder, and even lead to infections. It's not just about feeling uncomfortable. It's a mechanical issue. When you don't empty your bladder properly, leftover urine becomes a breeding ground for bacteria, leading to irritation, frequent urges, and painful infections. And for an aging prostate, that's a serious concern. I once spoke with an 80-year-old man named Liam. He had a habit of waiting until morning, no matter what. "I just don't want to get out of bed unless I really have to," he told me. But he also admitted that by morning his lower belly felt tight, and even after urinating, he sometimes still felt like he hadn't emptied fully. I encouraged him to start getting up and going to the bathroom whenever the urge came, even if it was only once or twice a night. Within a few days, he noticed less pressure, fewer lingering sensations, and better flow in the morning. He said, "My body was trying to tell me something, I just wasn't listening." Asterisk: your body sends signals for a reason. When it tells you to release, it's not just for comfort, it's for your health. The longer you hold it in, the more stress builds up in your body, and the more your prostate can suffer. Of course, no one wants to be getting up every hour. That's why avoiding salty food and heavy fluids late at night makes a big difference. But when nature calls, don't ignore it. Respond with care. Give your body the reset it needs. Your prostate will thank you. Now, on to the next: sleeping on your stomach. It might not seem like it, but your sleeping position can affect your prostate, especially if you're over 60. Sleeping on your stomach puts steady, silent pressure on your pelvic area, right where your prostate sits. Here's what happens. When you sleep face down, your body weight shifts forward. That weight rests directly on your lower abdomen and bladder, which can also affect the prostate. At first, you may not feel anything unusual, especially if you've slept this way for years. But over time, this constant pressure can reduce blood flow, tighten your pelvic region, and prevent the area from draining fluids properly. The prostate is small, but it's very sensitive. Repeated pressure can quietly increase inflammation and swelling, slowing down urine flow and adding to discomfort, especially if you already have an enlarged prostate. I spoke with a 70-year-old man named James who experienced this firsthand. He often woke up with tightness in his lower abdomen and thought it was a digestive issue. But when we reviewed his habits, something stood out. He always slept on his stomach, one leg curled to the side. After switching to sleeping on his side with a pillow between his knees, he reported weeks later, "I didn't realize how much tension I was holding in that area until I let it go." You don't have to force yourself into a sleeping position that feels unnatural. But simply exploring a few new sleep habits can make a huge difference. For instance, sleeping on your left side can help take pressure off your internal organs and improve blood flow to your pelvic area, including your prostate. Some men also find relief by slightly raising their legs or using a wedge pillow. These small adjustments can ease the downward pressure on your bladder and prostate. It may seem like a minor change, but it matters because you spend 6 to 8 hours in that position every night. Over time, a simple shift can bring long-lasting benefits. If you've been dealing with nighttime urgency, lower abdominal tightness, or waking up feeling unrest, don't just think about what you eat or drink. Consider how you sleep. A subtle adjustment tonight might bring real relief by tomorrow. If you're still here and finding this helpful, please comment number 4 below. And if you haven't subscribed yet, we'd love to have you. Just hit the subscribe button and tap the bell so you don't miss future videos. Your support helps us continue creating content that educates and empowers. Let's move on to the next point. Number 5. Ignoring the urge to urinate before bed. You may be lying in bed already comfortable and you feel a slight urge to go, but tell yourself, "I'll just wait until morning." It seems harmless. But for older men, especially those with an aging or enlarged prostate, ignoring that last call to urinate can cause more problems than you think. When you go to sleep with urine still in your bladder, it stays there for hours. That leftover fluid places steady pressure on your bladder and indirectly on your prostate. Over time, this constant pressure becomes more than physical. It becomes inflammatory. Your body begins to interpret it as a problem, and your prostate may react by becoming more sensitive or swollen. As we age, the prostate naturally enlarges. This enlargement already presses slightly against the urethra, the tube that carries urine out. So leaving urine behind at night only adds to the issue. It also creates the perfect environment for irritation, mild swelling, and even bacterial growth. I once spoke to a 60-year-old man named John who told me he rarely went to the bathroom before bed. He simply didn't feel the need. But gradually, he noticed he was waking up more frequently during the night. He also had difficulty emptying his bladder completely in the mornings. When he started making it a nightly habit to use the bathroom before sleep, regardless of urgency, he experienced noticeable improvement. His sleep was less interrupted. Mornings were easier, and he described a lightness in his lower body he hadn't felt in a while. That's the thing. Urinating before bed isn't just about dealing with urgency. It's about giving your body a reset. It helps relieve internal pressure and gives your prostate a break while you rest. Even if the urge is mild, going anyway reinforces your body's natural rhythm. Some men find it helpful to treat it like brushing their teeth. Make it part of the routine. Wash your face, brush your teeth, and empty your bladder. Even if it's just a little, it tells your body, "We're done for the day." And that simple act can ease swelling, reduce nighttime urgency, and help your body rest more peacefully. Final thought. Too many men quietly live with prostate issues, believing it's just a normal part of getting older. The late-night bathroom visits, the pressure that never fully fades, that constant feeling of not being completely empty. But what if some of that discomfort isn't just about aging? What if it's about habits? Tonight, we covered 5 simple things many older men do without thinking. 1. Drinking too much water late at night. 2. Eating salty or processed dinners. 3. Holding in urine. 4. Sleeping in positions that press on the pelvic region. 5. Skipping that final trip to the bathroom before bed. Individually, these habits may seem harmless, but together, over time, they can quietly place pressure on your bladder and prostate, slowing things down and making symptoms worse. The good news? Your body doesn't need a magic pill to feel better. Often, it just needs you to stop doing the things that are making it work harder. So tonight, try something different. Give your prostate a little space, a little rest, and a little relief. Which of these habits do you think you've been doing without noticing? And which one are you going to change starting tonight? Leave a comment below and let us know. Even the smallest adjustment could lead to better sleep, smoother mornings, and a better quality of life. If you learned something new today, share one insight in the comments and how you plan to use it. We love reading your feedback. It keeps us going and helps others on this journey too. And if you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support means the world to us. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.